CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, a death investigation in southwest Miami-Dade. Authorities say a BSO deputy took his own life. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner has the report.
Miami-Dade Fire Rescue said that earlier this morning, a person driving down the road behind me noticed that BSO patrol car and a deputy lying next to it. But by the time MDFR got here, first responders arrived. That deputy was already dead. His family showed up here looking for answers. Tina showed up to this large scene Tuesday morning looking for answers.
They just said that no one can go down there right now.
Down there, a senior law enforcement official told CBS News Miami that a Broward Sheriff's Office deputy shot himself. Tina said her daughter married into that deputy's family. Her daughter and husband showed up to the scene too.
The person that's down there, which is related to my daughter's husband, but exactly what took place, I don't know 100%.
This happened on 320th Street and 137th Avenue, just south of the Homestead Air Reserve Base. Dozens of detectives and officers lined the road with the BSO car in the middle of the investigation.
I'm just trying to check on them and see how they're doing and see how the family's doing. You know, I don't have all the ins and outs of what happened, but I just know that he was found down there.
The body taken away in an ambulance with fellow deputies riding alongside it. The Broward Sheriff's Office sent a statement, in part reading that their top priority right now is supporting the deputy's family and coworkers, ensuring they have the resources and the care they need to process and grieve this tragedy. The deputy has been employed at the Broward Sheriff's Office for 16 years and was off duty at the time of his death. In South Miami-Dade, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
If you are struggling with a mental health battle, there is help available. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline can be reached by calling or texting 988 or through chatting at 988lifeline.org.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, a beautiful shot. It has been a relatively dry week so far, but we could see showers return tomorrow. Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera.
Showers return tomorrow, everybody, and we're looking for an early start as opposed to what is typical this time of year, which is afternoon showers and storms. Temperatures right now, we're in the upper 80s. Feels like about 90, 94 as far as the humidity. And the winds, not as gusty as yesterday, but still pretty breezy out there between 20 and 25 miles an hour. That easterly flow courtesy of high pressure that is still in charge of our pattern here. So the rest of the evening looking dry, temps in the mid 80s, eventually lower 80s. That east flow pattern continues. And for the time being, we are going to continue to see activity through the morning and midday hours. Not so much in the afternoon. I think by the afternoon, with this setup, we do clear things out nicely as we're doing just about today. Although today a bit of a difference because we did have some dry air east of us. We talked about that yesterday. That has moved on top of us, and so really has prevented anything from getting going. But you can see tomorrow showers do make a comeback here with that morning and midday time frame, and then by the afternoon we'll continue to see quieter conditions. Same setup as we head towards late week. A bit of an increase in our available moisture should result in the showers that develop being a little more hefty here, but certainly not expecting anything widespread as far as any additional flooding. There we go with rain tracker for tomorrow. You'll see the showers are continuing to come in, and then everything pushes off towards the west coast by the late day hours, so we're looking pretty good here. Same thing for Thursday, so plan on a wet morning and midday and then a drier afternoon as we check in on the tropics. Here we have lots of promise but not much action here. I have to tell you, this is potential tropical system 1, and then we have this disturbance that is just a hot mess right now across the portions of the western Atlantic. It really just doesn't have much chance to develop here. In fact, National Hurricane Center has been watching the same thing we are, and they can see there's just not much activity except a little surge of moisture heading up towards the north, and we'll get in on that just basically out of the east flow. This is the potential system that we've been watching, but it is just a disorganized. You can see the low is here. The thunderstorms are displaced well to the north and south. Regardless of development, this is still forecast to go west and to bring some significant rainfall over the next few days. Not just to portions of Mexico, they're going to get the brunt of it, but lots of heavy rain as well heading into Texas. So rain chances for us going up a bit, and again, these will be for morning, midday showers. We'll have temperatures continuing near 90.
Now at 4, demolition is underway at a Miami apartment building. It was destroyed in a historic fire. The residents were forced out and not allowed to get their personal items. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch spoke exclusively with the lieutenant governor. She was visiting those displaced residents.
We caught up with the lieutenant governor, and she says the state, as we speak, is looking into ways that it can help the displaced residents. The Temple Court Apartments here at Northwest 3rd Street and 4th Avenue is being demolished because of structural safety concerns and an imminent risk of collapse after the massive fire on Monday of last week. More than 40 people were left without a home. Many are staying at a Motel 6 in Doral. And Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez stopped by to see them this morning and tell them the state will help them as they try to find a permanent place to live.
These people lost it all. They lost every single item of clothing. They lost papers, and so we're doing everything we can. Obviously, it's a city building, counties here as well, state, and so I think being able to coordinate those resources and to help them to see that we're going to allow them to find the opportunities to work with all these agencies to be able to provide whatever it is they need. So it's very individual, right? Each case is different. So right now we're just trying to sort through what the needs are, how we can assist. And the state, again, from the perspective of Department of Elder Affairs, Department of Children and Families, all hands on deck, and we're going to continue to work to see if, once they get their housing situation fixed.
The city says it'll take 4 to 6 weeks to demolish the building. Coming up tonight in just an hour, we will hear from the city, some of those displaced residents, and we'll have much more of our interview with the Lieutenant Governor. In Miami, Peter Dinch, CBS News Miami.
LGBTQ plus rights are taking center stage once more at the Broward School Board. At issue, the backlash after a girls volleyball player was ousted last year. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray tells us what the girl's mother had to say.
Broward School Board meeting discussing a lot of issues, including an item that was tabled that had to do with Jessica Norton. Now, Jessica Norton is mother to a transgender volleyball player. You may remember last year that volleyball player left Monarch High School after being outed. She was in violation of a state law which prohibits transgender girls from participating in girls' sports. Well, her mother was a tech employee at Monarch. She was reassigned, so the school board was supposed to talk about whether she would keep her job. That item was tabled. Her mother, though, did talk about the impact that this ordeal has had on her daughter.
Well, she's surviving day to day. She's missed out on her sophomore year. She's missed out on a lot of things to do with friends because she's isolated at home, but she's surviving as well as she can.
Coming up at 5, we'll look at what's next for that student and her mother. At the Broward School Board in Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS News Miami.
Now to the hunt for the cup. The Florida Panthers are just one win away from hosting the first Stanley Cup franchise history. They get it done at home tonight in Game 5. That's what we're all hoping for. The Panthers back at practice on Monday. The Cats were in this position on Saturday night, but were blown out on the road. But now it's back to Sunrise with a chance to make game history. Game 5 gets underway at 8 o'clock. If you're interested in going, at last check, a single resale ticket is going for around $900. And make sure to join us for the Panthers pregame show. Mike Cunio and Steve Goldstein break down the hunt for the cup. That is tonight at 6. Catch their pregame show of Game 5 on the CBS News Miami YouTube channel. Arrested. What the superstar is accused of doing while you were sleeping when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Oppressive heat is settling over the East and Midwest. It is stretching from Iowa to Maine through the end of the work week. It's early in the season, and officials are warning folks to stay hydrated and cool. CBS News Miami's Jared Hill reports from West Orange, New Jersey.
The Windy City could use a cool breeze. This week, Chicago already breaking a heat record set in 1957, and the temps are still trending upward.
If you have AC, I would recommend just staying in front of the AC.
The first heat wave of 2024 is gripping a large swath of the country.
Those 100-degree real feel or heat index values will stretch from the lakes to the Gulf, and heat advisories stretch from New England all the way into the lakes.
Road crews and construction workers around Pittsburgh are battling the blazing sun. And the mayor of Hartford, Connecticut says if you can't stay inside,
come out to a splash pad. We've opened all the splash pads in the city of Hartford.
New York's governor activated the National Guard to help with heat emergencies.
This is a time of significant risk, and we're doing our best to make sure that all lives are protected.
Extreme heat can be more dangerous early in the season than when it hits later in the summer. Our bodies haven't had time to adjust to the higher temperatures, raising the risk of heat stress and heat stroke.
Precious Daniels and Giovanna Towns of New Jersey got their exercise in before the day's peak heat.
And I told my friend, like, let's go. I don't care what you're saying. We're about to get this workout in. And tomorrow we'll come maybe a little earlier.
The rest of the week I will be indoors under the AC until the sun go down.
Some school districts are letting kids out early as some in typically cooler places like Syracuse, New York, struggle without air conditioning. And summer hasn't even officially started. Jared Hill, CBS News, West Orange, New Jersey.
Singer Justin Timberlake has been arrested. He's accused of driving while intoxicated in Long Island. CBS News Miami's Wendy Gillette reports from New York.
This is where singer Justin Timberlake was arraigned after he was arrested in the posh coastal village of Sag Harbor in the Hamptons just after midnight Tuesday. The criminal complaint says behind the wheel of a gray BMW, he failed to stay right and halt at a stop sign, and that his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. He had slowed speech, his breath smelled of alcohol, he was unsteady on his feet, and failed field sobriety tests. Timberlake spent the night in a jail cell and was released on his own recognizance, according to the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office.
It's such a small town, and everyone knows each other.
The tourist area on the eastern end of Long Island is buzzing about the arrest. A police statement says Timberlake told officers he had one martini and was following his friends home.
In today's day and age with technology and Uber, and especially someone like Justin with unlimited resources, there's no excuse to get behind the wheel.
The village is a popular area with celebrities.
I was surprised he'd be driving his own car in one respect. Yeah, and everyone really has to take accountability for their own actions, no matter where they are.
Celebrity attorney Chris Melcher spoke about the legal issue Timberlake is now facing.
Under New York, they have a lower limit for blood alcohol content. A lot of states, it's 0.08, which may be, 2-3 drinks. But in New York, you could be charged for as low as 0.05.
Court documents say Timberlake refused 3 times to take a test. The singer has 2 concerts in Chicago this weekend and shows at Madison Square Garden in New York City next week. His next court appearance is scheduled for July 26th. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a wonderful day.